Welcome back to a brand new episode of the Holistic Business and Life Mastery Show. I'm Supriya, your show host and holistic business and marketing coach. Today's topic is all about this one thing that holds a lot of new solopreneurs back in being able to create that profitable business until it's too late. And then, they realize, well, maybe it's not for me. Maybe I should quit. So I want to help you prevent that. And I want to actually help you create alignment to calm and profit to help you keep building that momentum in your journey. So what's that one thing that you feel is holding you back in creating that success in your solo operated business? A lot of people don't think this, but I'm going to tell you this from personal experience, also what I've seen others do in my community of other professionals that I've had around me. So the number one thing that I've seen professionals hold themselves back is they're thinking they need to complete yet another certificate or course. The skills that they've gained through their professional qualifications all of a sudden at the end make them feel like, no, I don't know enough to be able to help someone. I've just realized that I need to know more. If I don't know more, then how am I going to actually be seen as that other successful person in this industry that I want to work in? So what they start doing is they start comparing themselves to people with years of experience and the level of success they created. And they start to say, well, if I want to become like them, then I have to do this, and then I can start working. Okay, and then I can start doing it. Well, here is the thing. The problem with that is that it actually is not the way it works, because knowledge is just up here, right? You're acquiring knowledge through reading books, doing courses, learning material, seeing others do it. But the only way to actually say that you have learned it is actually doing it. You're applying that knowledge is then becoming a part of you, and you learn through applying it. That's true learning. So if you're not going to do that, then what you're saying is, you're not feeling confident, and the only way forward is to do another course. So here's the problem with that, right? If you have just finished your certification and you have been serving people, maybe for free, you've been doing pro bonos or voluntary work, right? Or apprenticeships. Have you got a timeline in place for you to go, right, like when I've done this, then I'll go and do the thing for myself? Have you done that kind of planning yet? So most people don't. The thing is they just take it a day at a time because it's so overwhelming for them to think like this, right? Because the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of all sorts of, things going wrong, imposter syndrome. We've been talking about this over our podcast for such a long time now. All of this stuff comes up as soon as it comes time to actually going and working with real paying clients. Okay, especially because it's just something so brand new. Now, some of you listening to this are already familiar with this because you've already gone through that hurdle on your journey, right? Not feeling good enough, not feeling adequate, not feeling like you know enough, to actually then finding out that, wow, there are so many people out there that are so where I used to be, so I can still help them, even if I don't have what I think is the perfect qualification. So the consequence of just holding yourself in this learning loop of like just acquiring knowledge, certifications, and skills, what that means is that you're gaining skill-based qualifications, but you're not applying those skills, and therefore you're not actually learning. Okay, you're not actually learning. And this is adult learning I'm talking about, right? I've been an adult educator for 16, 17 years now. So when you want to actually go out there, what needs to change? Let's talk about the problem with thinking this way, right? The actual reason why you think this way is because internally your lens is your mindset. Your mindset is you're not capable. You're not able to, help others. That's your internal mindset, right? That's the narrative you're living from. And even though you've got the qualifications, you're still feeling like that because you're unconscious of this mindset. So now we need to shift that mindset to, I know enough and I can figure out the rest. Okay, to move forward from that is you need to first notice that that's what's happening. And then you need to shift that mindset to that I know enough to keep moving forward, to start learning it in my own way. I need to apply it. Okay, so to bring the knowledge down into grounded practice, actually get your hands messy. So it's going to be clunky. It's going to be messy. It's going to not feel perfect. So this is what we call actually learning something, right? So the mindset needs to be that I'm going to be curious. How does it work? I have the knowledge. Now I need to actually use them to see what happens. You got to get curious and you got to go above the line with this. Okay, you cannot stay below the line thinking I'm not capable yet, I'm not ready yet, I'm small, right? And I don't know enough yet, because your mind is looking outside at someone that is now where you used to be. From there, they went there from doing what I'm recommending you to do. So your mindset needs to shift to the one that I was just saying, that you know enough for now to be able to implement and check and see and test and learn, really learn. To learn whatever you've learned, why you started, I don't know, but most of the times people start learning a new skill so that they can actually help others, improve their life in some sort of a way. That's a service provider's journey. If you're a service provider, you're trying to solve other people's problems, and that's why you went to trade school or med school or a holistic service school, right? And that's why you went there. Yes, you helped yourself. Now it's time for you to give back. And the only way to do that is to start getting new customers. And guess what? So the best way to do that is you start now. And you might think, well, that's exactly my problem, Supriya. I don't feel ready yet. I don't feel capable. I'm just not ready yet. What do I say? And I'm showing you that the reason why you're thinking that is because you unconsciously are comparing yourself to someone. Your benchmark, your reference point is incorrect. You've got to admit that you're right at the beginning of your journey, but you know enough to be able to help someone that is exactly the right fit for you. It's because the person you are comparing yourself to, maybe it's your mentor, maybe it's someone more successful in your industry, their caliber of clients and the kind of problems they're solving for their clients are very different to who you are going to be able to solve problems for. Fair enough? But how are you going to get there if you don't start solving that number one level of problems now? You've got to be humble enough to be able to start. Is that making sense? Okay, so this is the thing. And a lot of the times people on their journey get stuck and they stay stuck because they are too oblivious to this fact that, okay, if we were to make it a 7-level journey, your ideal level is level 7, okay, and you're at level 1, and you're not willing to see that you're at level 1, but there are people also needing help at level 1, and you need to see that. So every level will have its own people. So that's what we call marketing. Okay, you've got to get out there and be seen and found and start working with those people. Now, in this channel, on this podcast, there are more than level 1s. There are probably more level 7s and 8s. We are talking to a group of seasoned entrepreneurs in this podcast, and yet this thing applies. Do you know why? Because that belief of feeling inadequate is something that we all deal with at various levels. It comes up, it creeps up, and it keeps us stuck at the level we're at. I just started with this because, it's something we can all relate to. It's quite natural to be able to see that that's what we do. We think that we are not good enough because, that. But this happens at every level, by the way. Every time we're going across the threshold, these insecurities are making us see the world like as if we're inadequate, and that takes over the entire process of decision making. We start to invest our money, time, energy into, getting better by learning another thing, putting another thing under our belt, and at the same time not realizing that while we do that, we've also got to apply what we know. Otherwise, it's not a linear process. A person is not going to let you solve their level 8 problems if you haven't even solved a level 7 problem yet for someone else. You might have solved it for yourself, but have you solved it for anyone else? Getting this? So if you want to be able to do level 8 work, you've got to get started at level 1, 2, 3, 4 and make your way up while you're becoming a level 8 person or expert. Nothing more I can say about that, really. I'm pretty clear that you might have actually just now gotten that point I'm trying to drive home. So that's the mistake. You're holding yourself back thinking that, well, it's a linear journey. It's not. It's a holistic journey. It's a journey of, developing yourself as well as your skill set. And you've got to also upgrade your mindset to be able to stay on the journey. And this is the thing that I've always done, right? My process has been whenever I learn something, I apply it. How I apply it is I either share it in a podcast, or I share it with a client, or I share it with someone I'm talking to on the day, an insight. I write it down. I share it in a newsletter. I use it straight away. Okay. And I'm also not really learning things that are not helping me move forward. So I'm not waiting till I finish the course and I go, right, then I'm ready. It's not feasible. Especially when you are self-employed, okay? You are in charge of so many more things. It's not just you studying. So it's unrealistic for us to stay in a cocoon of learning through knowledge-based tasks. Rather, we have to apply that knowledge. We have to create a system for us to apply that knowledge. The benefit of that is that you're actually learning every day. And like Einstein said, if you're not learning, you're decaying. So true learning happens through actually applying. And, by the way, I watched the Martha Stewart story on the weekend, and she's done a documentary on Netflix. You might want to check it out, especially female entrepreneurs. You've got to watch Martha Stewart's story. So one of her mottos is that, I've got to learn something new every day. It's not by learning through books. It's through applying what she already knows. She is the epitome of what we need to do every single day. Every single day, you've got to do what you know, right? To be able to learn from it. So even when she went to jail, she's still learning something new. You know how? Because she's got that mindset of being above the line. Like, even though they've locked me up, how can I turn this into an opportunity for myself? So it applies to our business. It applies to ourselves, the way we want to move forward. So whatever level you're at, if you are holding yourself back, the only way forward is get experience through applying what you already know. If you don't do that, the consequence is that by the end of the time, whenever you've set a time frame, by the end, you will find that you'll still need to gain that experience. And then you find that, oh, geez, I know too much. I know too much now, and I'm not feeling like I want to help those people. But there's this huge skill gap. Making sense? There's this huge skill gap, and you're now having to solve a whole new different level of problem. So one of the biggest drivers for me along my journey to have started when I started was, number one, I had a decade of experience in financial services, being a compliance expert, right? And I left that to be able to do my wellness business. I had zero experience in business. I had zero experience in being a teacher and a healer. And it was all brand new for me. But my driver was that I don't want to go back to corporate, and this is the only thing I want to do. And it wasn't money yet, right? For the first 5 years, it wasn't money. And you may or may not know my story, but the whole thing is my business wasn't my thing. My thing was I want to develop my ability to help others. How I did that is through starting to sell courses and starting to sell classes. Okay. So it was brand new for me. I wasn't doing the right things the right way, but I was doing it. So that taught me so much. That's what pushed me to create my multi-six-figure business later on. Everything happens because you apply it. If you don't apply what you know, you will not create what it is that you want to create. Okay. So hopefully you are getting that, while you are doing your professional development and personal development, you also need to continuously apply yourself, your knowledge to clients to be able to learn what's working, what needs improvement, what do they need, what sort of problems are you able to solve now. So if we put a dollar value to it, right? I think I've shared this back in the day in another episode, where at college we were told you can charge $90 for a 90-minute consultation, okay? And then you can charge less for a follow-up session, okay? I mean, that's not good practice when you run a business, especially as a solo operator. Oh my God, it's not. Because you don't just work for 90 minutes. You're doing preparation. You're doing post-consult work. You're doing so many things around the block. It's all taking up time. And no, you cannot just go, oh, I've systemized it. It's just not the way you do things. You just can't do it. But that's the level of problem I was solving, and I was underpaid. But I learned something from that, from experience. Even though you're listening to this podcast and I'm telling you what pain points arise, you won't feel the pain until you experience it yourself. So yeah, same thing happened with me. I wouldn't just adopt someone else's values just by hearing them. I had to actually experience it, and I go, oh, wow, yes, right? I'm not just... I can't just keep doing this the way I'm doing it, because actually it's not the way business works. If you're working for yourself, you don't just charge for the hour. You have to find a way to provide value, solve better problems for people to be able to charge more. Check out the episode on pricing. Now, coming back to what I'm sharing is then from that, I went to 297. And then I went to 397 per session. But guess what? My offer also changed because of the levels of learnings that I got from my experience. From my experience, I learned that people don't just follow the plan. People don't have the ability to follow plans that they've never done before. So I had some tread marks on my wheel to go, wow, okay, these people actually have unique needs, and I can actually serve them in a different way. So my offer changed, my service changed, and my value changed. Getting this? So same thing, the same principles apply to everything I've done. And now I'm offering a very different solution to a different problem, and I'm also charging that, because it's not just about me charging, it's about the person committing to that journey. It's a commitment for them. They get to level up through making an investment in themselves, in their own business, in their own marketing, in their own journey. Okay, so how can you do this for yourself, right? I think you need to invest at least an hour a week. Is that too much for you to invest an hour of your time on learning how to build a sales and marketing system for yourself so that you can actually keep building your business while you grow as the expert? And this is going to be your journey. If you have a vision of being the best in your industry, then that's going to be your trajectory. Okay, you want to be a sought out leader in your space. Well, that's going to be your trajectory. You're going to continuously do professional development, but that shouldn't mean that you just keep holding yourself back in this learning cocoon and not solve anyone's problems while you're on the way there. So if you're ready to do that, the problems that I'm helping you solve there is that you can actually come to the 90-day new clients bootcamp and get started by applying one step each week, which is in a sequential order, and build out a system for yourself, which will help you enroll 10 new clients with the system. And then you can just repeat it, just like I have. So I'll post some photos. The first time I did the whole thing, it generated 10 new clients. And I just kept repeating it. So I'll show you some more photos where I kept repeating it, just kept generating more and more clients in the same way. And then as my skill set developed, I shifted the same system and applied it to a new service and a new offer. And I just keep doing that. It's the same system, the same marketing and sales system that I applied, with some changes, of course, to what the details are. But you can do this in bite-sized thing. And why 90 days, right? Well, 90 days is not really a formula as such, but a 90-day program will help you break it down into doable action steps instead of overwhelming you with like, oh, now I've got to sit down and learn all things about marketing and sales. It's not a study. It's not a study group. It is you aligning yourself, your actions, your time management, everything with your financial goals as well as your experience goals. So you may not be working for money, but you still need to set a goal to be able to get those amounts of clients. So that becomes a measurable metric for you, right? Whatever 10 clients mean to you in dollar value, it means to you in dollar value, but 10 clients is the goal and you're working to achieve that, and that's it. And then it's a system, and then you just keep rinsing and repeating it. But 90 days is to really cut the work down to minimum per week to be able to help you keep moving the needle forward. I trust this has added value to you on your journey. I will put the link below on the wait list, and you'll get access to the early bird offer, which will go for 2 weeks, where you get 30% off the actual price. But it's to encourage you to take the step toward your well-being, toward your business growing, and you get to sign up. You get to be the first ones to find that offer, and that'll be ready in the next 7 days. Now, I will link this in the show notes. Go find it, and I'd love to see you in there. And I hope this topic actually raised your awareness to what could be really holding you back on your journey of creating momentum toward the direction you want to get to, right? Lovely to be here, and I'll come back next week.